You're listening to the Experiencing God Day by Day podcast, brought to you by Blackaby Ministries International.
November 27th, God is with you. Zechariah 8, verse 23. The Lord of hosts says this, "In those days 10 men from nations of every language will grab the robe of a Jewish man tightly, urging, 'Let us go with you, for we have heard that God is with you.'" God's desire is to fill His people with His Spirit, so that others recognize His powerful presence in them. The presence of the Lord in a believer's life ought to be obvious. When the Spirit of Almighty God fills a believer, the believer cannot go on living as before. Others will see God. God told His people through the prophet Zechariah that His presence ought to make a difference in their lives. If God's people walk closely with Him, people from every language and every part of the world would hear that they were a people who knew God. People would come from every nation on earth to find the true God among His people. If the people saw a child of God, they would long to be with him or her, because in doing so they would be with God. God gave the vivid picture of 10 people clinging to one believer, hoping to find God. Christ's presence ought to be so evident in your life that the people around you are drawn to you. They should want their children to be with your children, because your children are being raised with a godly influence. Employers ought to want you in their workplace. People should seek you for their leader, because they know you as someone of integrity before God. Your life and your home ought to be a magnet for people as they sense God's presence with you and your family. The more you allow Christ to make His presence evident in your life, the more people will draw near you and find Him.
This podcast is based on the book Experiencing God Day by Day by Henry and Richard Blackaby, published by B&H Publishing Group, music by Mark Brown.